Video number 3, the nature of an archetype. For most of my adult life, I've been fascinated with the idea of archetypes, but this is especially true as it has greatly influenced my approach to astrology. It started with my exploration of the works of Carl Jung, who was one of the first modern thinkers to use this term and develop it so fully. But actually, we can trace the emergence of the notion of archetype all the way back to Plato, who believed in the existence of what he called pure or ideal forms, which are universal and exist beyond or outside the range of our material world or human understanding, but act as underlying forces of the world we know. Another way to describe it is to conceive of it as a universal principle or force that affects and permeates the human psyche and human behavior on many levels, both consciously and unconsciously. What makes this concept so compelling for me is that the more we become aware that our life actually arises out of the realm of archetypes, the more we see that we are part of a much greater world than what we usually imagine. It means we are potentially much more than what our little ego thinks. One might regard archetypal thinking as limiting if we think that all archetypes are mere remnants of the past history of both our animal nature and human experience. But this does not seem to be the case at all. It's much better to regard the archetypal realm as being a great mystery containing all of the potentialities that an individual person and the human species are capable of becoming. It may be far vaster than we can imagine and contains symbols and themes that are capable of transforming our consciousness. This is the view that Dane Rudhyar took as he felt that an archetype is like a seed, the potentiality of a particular structure of an organic being. Like any seed, it may not grow into a fully developed plant. Because of this, he emphasized that astrology deals only with potentialities, not with definite, fated events. What makes becoming aware of one's archetypal nature transformational is in simply making this discovery. The archetypal realm is in the unconscious, just as the leaf pattern of a tree is latent in the acorn. Goethe's view is especially evocative when he refers to the unconscious world as the realm of the mothers, showing that indeed the unconscious is the mother of consciousness. Astrology and the birth chart point to the most powerful archetype for a person. What does this tell us about the nature of the natal chart? An individual's horoscope can be considered to be a set of archetypal symbols that come together in a unique way to become an archetype in the person's unconscious. When it is brought into the light of one's consciousness, though, it becomes alive in a new and very empowering way. It changes the way a person views oneself and their role in the universal order of life. Rudhyar explicitly states that a birth chart is a symbol of extraordinary power because it is based on mankind's primordial experience of the sky, a wondrous realization of a transcendent order in the midst of a life of earthly chaos. It is powerful because it aids us in discovering the order of the sky at the root of one's own being. This centers us not merely in ourselves, but as part of the entire universe. Understood in this way, we are not just able to grow in our own unique way, but in doing so, a real transformation can begin within us. This is how the emerging study and practice of astrology itself can lead to it becoming transpersonal. It shifts the way astrology is conceived of by promoting the notion that the individual has the ability to engage in and co-create with the universal forces, rather than merely being the victim or effect of them. We must remember that one can never be what one is not. This may infer something very paradoxical and strange. It suggests that transformation can only emerge out of total acceptance. In order to become self-actualized, one must find no fault in being what one essentially is. This is what astrology is able to assist us in, like no other system. It reveals to us that we are essentially a celestial archetype. While each chart is different from every other one, we see that we are all composed of the same universal archetypal building blocks. We are literally made from an all-encompassing harmony of the universe, writes Rudyard. We might even go further to wonder whether each horoscope is potentially an archetypal solution to a particular need in the three-dimensional world of physical existence, which takes form as a human organism. One might wonder if our chart might actually be the fulfillment of a need coded in the language of the sky as the birth chart of a particular person.